Hey, this is Lola, but you can call me Lola if you like.
Hi, this is Velisa, and you can call me Velisa if you want. And this is the Everybody Hates HR podcast, episode 84.
Yes, we are hurtling towards 100.
We are. We're almost there.
How's your week?
It's all right. This is second week with no makeup. Got my lashes done, so I don't have makeup on.
I love the lashes though.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I went to our girl, so
yeah, and my eyelashes are so bald at the moment, so they have to get done.
I love it. It just makes such a difference. But yeah, I'm good. It's a busy week. No, nothing new. You?
I feel like something must have happened this week, but nothing is like nothing. Wait, what did I do this weekend? I went to Arsenal. I went to watch Arsenal. That was fun.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, and also I had my sister's baby shower.
Oh, how was that?
It was good. I did it at home in my loft. It was so cute. I did all the decor and everything. I got a couple decor quotes, and I just said, you know what? I can do this myself because I'd rather give my sister that money.
Do you know what? I hear it. You've also been binge watching Love is Blind.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I have. Anyway, Love is Blind. By the time this comes out, it'll be like, 2 weeks now?
It will be in 2 weeks' time, I think.
Yeah, so the whole thing will probably be done. Let's make our predictions.
Okay. Can I say one thing before we make our predictions? The UK should be ashamed of themselves, yeah? Because on Love Island, Love is Blind US, they usually go to everybody's house. We get to see how everybody lives.
Yes.
We only get to see how Freddie lives because he's the only one who owns a flipping house. Everybody else probably lives at home, lives with in a what's it called?
We saw Kat because she went back home to her parents, isn't it? That's where she lives.
Exactly. Like everybody lives with their parents or in a flat share, whatever it is. So the UK should just be ashamed of themselves with the housing crisis. And also, I just love Freddie. But go on.
Listen, okay, a few things. I love Freddie.
Yeah.
And I love Benaya.
I do, kind of.
No, I love him. He needs to learn to let things go.
Yeah.
But I love Benaya.
Okay, but he's not Freddie.
I think, do you know what it is? I love Freddie, but I think in an alternate universe, if I was on Love is Blind, I would choose Benaya. He's just like, I'm the kind of person, if I wasn't in a relationship and I didn't love my man so much, I could probably go on Love is Blind and meet the person. I'm that kind of person. Like, I can be like,
so him saying that he was homeless wouldn't put you off?
He's not actually homeless.
Yeah, okay.
He's homeless by choice. That's not homeless. He's basically renting. Like, it's like saying, you know, these people that rent, but they can, even if you can't afford to buy, but there's lots of people that rent and can afford to buy. It's like if, I don't know, some footballer told you.
Yeah, because he's a landscaper, so he's making money.
Yeah. He just chooses to live a nomadic life. But I really like him, and I really like him for Nicole. Nicole is actually so naive. Sam is vile. He looks like a worm, and not because because he looks like a worm, but also because when someone's so rotten on the inside, it just shows. On the outside. That's why Kat said that looks like her ex, because she's also not a good person. Rotten. There's so many microaggressions. Did you when she was like, she just doesn't see working for Demi and Ollie on the outside.
And she code-switched when she spoke to Ollie and compared. Yes, she did.
And she was just like, I like your voice. Yeah. And I'm just like, it was given, I know you're black and that's what I like.
Yeah. But yeah, predictions. So Freddie says no to Catherine is my prediction. Tom will say no to, what's her name again?
Maria.
Yeah, Tom will say no to Maria. And
because she wants to expect him to pay.
Yeah. I think he'll get cold feet at the last minute.
Okay, go on.
Demi and I think Ollie Ollie will say no, but he'll do what Clay tried to do with what's her face.
Yeah, like just not right now.
Yeah, just not right now. Let's continue. I think that's what Ollie's gonna do. But I also
think that Demi won't be like what's her name? AD. You'll be like, okay, fine, let's try.
Yeah. And then obviously them two, the Irish lady and I've forgotten their names. They are going to get married. Yeah, they're going to get married. Jasmine and Bobby will get married, but Jasmine's mum can...
Jasmine's mum...
I'm sorry, that was so intense and so rude.
She said, oh yeah, but you see... Wait, he said he didn't go to uni. He said sometimes it can be hard to have conversations with
uneducated people.
I said no.
Listen, or maybe she does, but let me see your degree. That's what I'm saying.
Either way.
Because you have no right to be, you don't have to have a degree to be educated.
You know, he's small flex. She was like, London's expensive. He said, I can afford it.
Good. When he said that, I smiled because I was like,
I can afford it.
Let her know. She's being so intense.
She's projecting.
Yeah, she was projecting.
My prediction.
Wait, there's one more.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ben and Nicole.
They will get married.
Yeah. I don't think Nicole, someone told me that they think Nicole might say
no.
She's too,
I think they'll get married.
I just don't think she'll let him go again.
Yeah, they'll get married.
Yeah. He actually really likes her.
He does.
Do you know like when Sam said that thing to him about she tried to sleep with him? Yeah. What bothered him was not the fact of this.
It's a disrespect.
He's so angry that he disrespected someone that he loves.
And
that's why I thought, that's a king right there. As a king. And Ollie and Debbie, the jury's out. The thing that makes me Ollie, I was like very anti him before, but I do think
he's all right. I do think
the ADHD has some parts to do with some of his.
No, when Jasmine was going in on him, his reaction makes sense now that he's got ADHD.
Exactly.
She just like her mama.
She was doing too
much.
But also the fact that none of his family
showed up,
or any of his friends have been in the show, or even at the fitting.
That's
you don't
very
have
scary.
One friend. The only friend you have is from the pod.
Was like was it Shane from Love Is Blind? I think that was him as well. He didn't have any family.
How can you not have any friends? So you don't even have one friend that can come on the show with you.
Crazy.
That's crazy. It's given I did this whole thing in secret and no one knows.
Yeah.
Anyway. So him, I think they could be good together, and I actually do think he likes Demi. He was doing up, I don't do PDA, and suddenly
then he's doing it.
Nine lips in Ben and Nicole gonna get married. Maria and Tom, I don't know. I think she's scared him without trying to wife stuff. Who else is there? Freddie has to say no, but he seems like a good guy that was gonna want to see it through. So I think he could actually say yes and marry the spawn of Satan. Do you see how nice she was being when she was around his family?
And when she got to his house.
And when she was being with his friends? No. Listen, I don't mind.
Even when she was making jokes, and she was like, "Oh, you're so jokey." But he's a funeral director. Like, what he needs to make jokes. Even him saying, about the prenup stuff. I'm sure Freddie has seen numerous families get into it over money.
It's barely a prenup. Like, he's really talking about his will.
Yeah,
he's like, die. And he's got
and that can change. If you guys are going to be together, you guys have children, whatever, you can update your will. Like, you're mad. Like,
her friend was like, and you're screwed. I'm like,
what the hell? He doesn't know you.
Yeah,
you forgetting that? Like, I just can't stand Catherine. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Also, the way she was with Sam, she was like, he looks like my ex. And that's a nicer ring.
And
then
mine. when he said, "Oh, Charlotte's attractive," you've got so much vim.
After you asked him what she thought.
Like,
anyway, I don't know.
We could go on.
Yeah, we could, but that's not what the show is about. What is the show about? HR.
Yeah. So should I start with my story?
Yeah. What's your story swap today? I've got two, you've got two.
Yeah, we've got two. So my first story is to do with a young man called Brendan. So as we know, there have been labelled race riots in the UK. While some of these riots were going on, a young man called Brendan, who is here on a student visa from Nigeria, and listen, he's allowed to legally.
Guys, I can say this, I'm Nigerian. Not all about Brendan. Sorry, go on. No, this is serious.
You're gonna get him in trouble. Listen, if his documents say he's Brendan, he's Brendan, yeah. So he's legally allowed to work 20 hours a week, and he works for a company called Claire's Care, which is like a care, thing where they go to different people's houses, elderly people, and look after them, etc. Now, while he was looking after one of these elderly people, these people who were rioting burned his car to the ground. Yeah. And his employer, so Claire, she's decided to open up a GoFundMe and said, this is what happened to Brendan's car. We want to raise 3K to, make sure that he can still get around to her own benefit, of course, because then he can still work, right? Okay, cool. So people saw the story. The GoFundMe ended up raising 65K, right? So the Claire left a note on the GoFundMe and said, Brendan will get, I think at first she said £3,000 from the 65K, and then some will go to the police, Some will go to other employees who lost shifts based on these riots also happening that work for her. And the rest,
not adding to 65k.
And the rest will go to charity. So
if I wanted to donate to charity, I would have put my GoFundMe money in the charity pot.
So when she did this, I'm not gonna lie, Black Twitter, they came through. They said, They said
3K.
no.
Sorry. Also, a car. You can't even get it. Even if the car he had was worth 3K, why are you going to replace it with another 3K car?
Listen,
you know what 3K buys you these
exactly.
days?
So Twitter were like, okay, no, he should be getting all the money, blah, blah. They kind of, you know what Twitter's like. They basically jumped on her, found her Facebook, all of that stuff,
Sometimes it's not bad.
So then she updated the GoFundMe, and she basically tried to paint him in a really bad light and said, well, you know, Brendan wants a car that he can't really afford to keep up with. I think it was like a Mercedes that he asked
Brendan
for.
doesn't even have to spend the money on a car. He can buy a 3K car and keep 62K for himself.
Like, if he would, but let him decide, right? Yeah. So yeah, she was updating it. Then it got to the point where she felt so jumped on, she wanted to refund everybody's money and she wanted to close the GoFundMe.
You'd rather close it than just give the money to the guy.
She wanted to close. She was like, she just wants to refund everybody their money. She doesn't want any of this anymore because she feels attacked. She was like, you know, they found my Facebook. I'm a mom and I'm stressed and all this stuff.
Give them the money then.
Yeah, but what's you being a mom got to do with you being greedy and wicked? So people like, you know, why is she painting him in a bad light? But anyway, enough people complained on GoFundMe so that he could be the sole beneficiary for the 65k. So now and the Nigerian community really rallied around Brendan.
And we're a supportive community.
To make sure that he had what he needed.
And that we could chop the money.
I'm sure Brendan has to give a few out, like favour-wise. But so now he's the sole beneficiary for that money. But I just thought...
For all we know, Brendan could have been the one that told Claire, shh.
No, for real.
Just told him it's not coming to me.
But for real, like, I just feel like as an employer... based on like reputation, based on trying to be a good employer, like 65k for somebody who is here on a student visa studying,
to pay their fees.
That money can go that is for someone like him, that is life changing money. What do you want to give money to the police for? What do you want to give?
The police when the car was burning?
All these people you're saying you want to cover their shifts. Why are you not paying them? You're the employer. Like, if you care that much,
even
just
if you were going to
them.
cover their shifts for a week, the carers ain't getting paid that much.
Exactly.
That ain't adding up to all that money.
I know you ain't paying Brendan that much.
Listen.
So what's happening here?
Yeah, but what I've noted, what I know, and what this week, the last couple of weeks have proven to me more than ever, small employers and big employers, small companies and big companies, they ain't the same.
Oh, 100%.
Small employers, small companies, some of them, they're just so rogue. I run a small company, not me, please. But other people, like other companies, are so rogue. Like in a big company, and to be honest, they would never even start to GoFundMe. But no, like that's
part of the problem. Though.
They're so rogue. They're just so rogue. They just think they can do whatever they want, and they don't think about things like that. I really don't like that weaponizing of anything. Like there's so many things like that can make someone vulnerable, or can make it that you're a marginalized person or you're a minoritized person. But what I need people to understand is being a marginalized, or minoritized person does not, take away from your obligation to not do harm to others, or doesn't take away from the kind of blame that can be like associated to you if you do bad things. Like, oh, I'm a mother, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you knew you was a mother when you made these decisions. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with it. You can't hide behind the fact that you're a mother. You can't hide behind the fact that you're black. You can't hide behind the fact that you're a woman. You can't hide behind the fact that you're Muslim. If you do fuck shit, excuse my language, then you're going to suffer the consequences. Yeah, like going to the point where you'd rather refund everybody their money. That's very petty and spiteful. It is. Then because people are calling you out on something you've done wrong. That is so. It's just not very mindful. It's not demure. Okay, like it's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah, not cute. I'm glad Brendan got his money. I wonder what he'll do with it. Okay, he has to send money back home, I guess. Yeah. The Naira's weak, so he might even keep 3K and send us 62K. Who knows? Yeah, the Naira's weak, so he might even quit studying. He should, quit studying. I was saying he should quit that job for sure.
I don't think so part of it was Brendan said that she started cancelling his shifts.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm sure he's not there anymore. But thank God he has the money now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
she's probably livid. She could have even kept a little 5k for herself. Brendan wouldn't have complained.
Listen.
Brendan wouldn't have complained, you know. Even if she paid the other people's shifts, yeah. Even if that, it would never. But even if it amounted to 10k and she was like 55k is going to Brendan, I don't think anyone would have said anything.
No. She did too much. But yeah, just.
And what charity was she going to give it to?
I can't remember if she named any or she just put charities. I think she put police, charities and shifts, but didn't go into detail.
Because is it the charities of the people that have been affected most in the area by these?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, your story?
So Wells Fargo, the bank,
mm-hmm.
In the US, they're being sued. There's a class action against them. Mm-hmm. So
I love a class action lawsuit.
Yeah, same.
By the way.
Come together. Let's shake this table. So basically, in 2020, Wells Fargo they launched a new policy, like a lot of companies did, which basically said that they wanted to have 50% of the candidates the candidates that they interview for their roles above $100,000 to be from like minority groups or underrepresented groups. So when it comes to gender, race, ethnicity, and also disability. So now they're being sued because they're saying since that policy launched, what they were doing was rather than doing it properly and actually making an effort to try and find and recruit these kind of diverse people, they have been very performative about it. And what they've been doing is interviewing people that they had no intention of giving the job to. In some cases, they were interviewing people from like diverse backgrounds or these minoritized groups for roles that have already been filled, and mostly by white men. So they were like, and they kept sending out communication. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. All the while they were bringing people into interview so that they could say they meet the 50% quota of interview, but the jobs are already filled. And also what they were doing in some cases were, okay, there's like, oh, we found our person, but we haven't hit the diversity quota. So what we're going to do is we're just bringing people. So let's say there's a head of engineering job. They might interview you because you applied. You get what I mean? It's not that, so they can say now that they interviewed a black woman as part of that role, but at the end of the day, they knew you were never going to get the job because you're very underqualified. And you wouldn't. But they've hit their quota. Exactly, they meet the quota, which is kind of why quotas are not good. But also, if you have a quota and people that are actually a target or aspiration or whatever, and people are actually aiming to do the right thing, they're not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, that's what they were doing. And these practices, apparently they're well known. There had been internal complaints, and they're saying that even the CEO knew because people had escalated it up to him numerous times. So there had been like loads of people in the company who had like complained, whistle blew or whatever, and nothing was done about it, such that now some of their, I think it's the investors that are suing them, and so maybe some of their employees as well, all come together to be like, this is really bad practice. But apparently it wasn't a secret. Like within recruitment, like some of the recruiters and people in the talent teams were like, this is not right, I don't want to do this, and others obviously were just cracking on. And obviously the hiring managers, you can't have, it's like if you tell me, okay, in a HR role, and you bring me a head of HR role, and you bring me a finance director, or even though they think they can do the job, you bring me a finance director, I'm going to know, or a marketing person, you're not going to be able to do the job. So the hiring managers also were aware that the quality of some of these candidates was really low, or that why are you bringing me people to interview when I've already filled this job? So now they're being sued. So but we don't know how it's obviously going to end at the moment, but the evidence is giving that it's going to be successful. Or that they'll settle.
So how did people finally clock on? Do we know to what's going on?
I think it was the hiring managers, from what I read, and the recruiters. Like there were complaints made. Like it became kind of like an open secret. But I think the people that are suing are the investors. Maybe because it's made them look really bad. I don't know why, but I think it is the investors who are suing, from what I read. Yeah, it is. So yeah, this is like when we talk about companies being performative. This is literally the most performative.
That's very performative.
Like you're actually doing performance.
That's sad. I'd rather you not. Like I'd rather you not bring in a policy that you weren't actually gonna commit to and do properly.
Okay, yeah. So Wells Fargo its CEO and 2 other executives at the firm are facing a class action. So they've actually named the CEO, 2 other executives, as well as like Wells Fargo. I remember this is for the 100K plus jobs. So they're like, even if there's other like minoritized people in the organization, they're not getting to those more senior positions. Imagine saying this in 2020 and then like you're forcing it. Like it's just so bad that this actually happened.
It's terrible. It's actually terrible. And that it was going on for so long.
They tried to get the case dismissed as well. And
of course they did.
The court said no.
No, the court said Wells Fargo got money.
Hiring staff brought in candidates who were not even qualified enough for roles or for positions that were already filled in a performative act, mainly for show. They
could have at least brought in people who were appropriate for the role and built out like a pipeline, at least, you know.
Even if they're a bit more junior and you're like, okay, cool, we might move in, like help develop least. You.
Damn.
Yeah, that's Wells Fargo. I hope they lose.
I think they will.
Yeah,
but they have a lot of money.
Well, one thing I love about the US and one thing I hate about the US is one thing about them, they're gonna sue you. They're gonna sue you.
I know a court hates to see the US coming. Like they will sue you for anything.
One time I dealt with a case in the US and I was so shocked because it was a contractor. I'm like, how are they suing? So basically what happened was that contractor had basically complained about like how he wasn't getting the same terms as some of the other employees. And in that meeting, he had got like really like, there was a couple of them like in the meeting, contractors that he had brought together to try and kind of complain. And they said it to one of the managers. But in that meeting, he had also got aggressive and I think he kicked a chair or something. So he basically ended up being dismissed because he was aggressive and some people had complained and went to the manager who he was talking to check that she was okay. And so he was dismissed because of his basically aggressive behavior. And then he basically sued and said, oh, I was dismissed because I was trying to assert my rights. Because there's like there's a law which basically is like if you speak about the working conditions or your pay conditions, that's like protected, like that's your right. So he was like, I was trying to assert my rights and you fired me. Meanwhile, you were fired because you kicked the chair and you shouted at somebody in the meeting. But we had to settle. Because it was just going to cost us too much to go to court.
Yeah.
So we just had to settle.
Wow.
And then we had insurance, but
the US.
Imagine that. That's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
You kicked a chair, shouted at someone. He basically, I swear in the witness statement, it said that he waved his fist. You know the people, like that's what he was doing.
There must be some people in the US who they've like made a living out of just suing.
Yeah, do you remember that? You know that, what's that guy called? He's a black man and he's on TikTok sometimes. He's the slip and fall guy. He said what he used to do was that he would go to like these kind of factories or whatever, or these places where they are health and safety is important, and that he would look out for like health and safety violations, and then he would report the health and safety violations, and then he would tell the manager that he was the one who reported the health and safety violations, and he would just wait for them to victimize him. And then he would sue them.
Wow. Yeah.
And he said it had 100% success rate.
Yeah, that's what people do. There's a TikToker that I watch every night while I brush my teeth. I'm just gonna throw it out there. His name is Ray Johnson Williams or Ray something like that.
American. That's how very American.
Yeah, he's very American. He is American.
Ray Johnson Williams,
and he basically does crime stories like with animations on TikTok. So he tells the story as with animations, whatever. And there was one where these two people came together, cut off his thumb, put it in a Wendy's burger, and then sued Wendy's for having the thumb in.
So somebody's thumb was in the burger.
Yeah.
But the person
so
who
the
was
woman
suing
was, like,
was missing a thumb.
No, so the woman who had they were in on it together. So the woman was like, there's a thumb in my burger.
But where did the thumb come from?
Yeah, someone that she was working with. Like working together to do this. So they were like, let's cut your thumb off. Let's put it in a burger and let's sue Wendy's. And it was like, she got, I think, a couple million. But then eventually it will, I hope they
DNA tested the thing.
I think that's what they did.
Somebody who cut off their thumb has a criminal record.
They did. So yeah, it all came crashing down. But I was like, wow, you'd go to those lengths to sue.
How much to lose your thumb?
How much to lose my thumb?
Yeah, how much money?
Wait, left thumb or right thumb?
Let's do both. For the left thumb, the one you use less.
Okay, left thumb, $1 billion.
1 billion. I'm cheap, mate. I'm so cheap.
1 billion.
1 billion for a thumb.
Okay, 800 million.
I don't want to say my number now. I feel too cheap. For the left thumb.
Yeah, 800 million.
So if I said I'll give you £1 million and you're going to have fun, you're not going to feel surgically removed.
$1 million? That's not enough for my thumb. You mad?
Yeah, me neither. The left one.
The left one.
What did your left arm do?
Listen, I'm a mum. I use both thumbs.
Nah, for the right one's expensive. The left one can buy me financial freedom. I would sacrifice my left arm for financial freedom. Gosh.
My next story is also about a GoFundMe.
Go on.
So
the GoFundMe culture is a bit problematic.
It's rife, yeah. So there is a guy, I can't remember what London borough he sweeps in. I'm not sure.
I'm trying to find out.
But
I know that I would know the most problematic London boroughs anyway.
He's a street.
Oh no!
What?
He lives in Beckenham. What borough is that?
Oh, is it Beckenham?
Is that Bromley or Lewisham?
Bromley. Oh, okay. So this street sweeper, he is loved by a particular road that he comes down. So he like plays music. He's very like positive. He's always smiling, but obviously, a street sweeper, people have assumed he doesn't make that much money, etc. So the street came together to do a GoFundMe and they raised, I want to say, was it like 10,000? £3,000. They raised £3,000 for him to be able to go on holiday to Portugal. And when his employers found out about it, they said that they would have to donate the money to charity because it falls under the Anti-Bribery Act's policy where, he basically can't accept that as a gift because they're saying it puts him in a more vulnerable position with regards to him feeling like he might have to do more for them now every time he works on their street and things like that. So the employers said no.
It was Veolia. I just looked it up.
Oh, was it?
Veolia are contracted by Bromley, and they basically said that, apparently the GoFundMe was updated and said, sorry, you can't accept the money. That's so bad, man. And then £3,000 for what? Okay, if you're a street sweeper, what could the bribe pay you for? To sweep their street more? And to be honest, he probably would. I would as well. But that's the same as anyone. Treat me good and I'll do more work for
Not
you.
For real. So somebody on Twitter actually kind of explained it and said the only reason he's not allowed to take it is because it falls under the Bribery Act. As a public sector worker, you have to avoid any activity that leads to or suggests breach of it. But it technically, is he a public sector worker if he's under Viola as a contractor?
Maybe I think it was Veolia said it was to do with their contract with Bromley.
Okay.
He wasn't allowed to receive it under that.
They said if he took it, that's gross misconduct.
It's not a bribe though. So actually it's not. Like there's stuff around, I don't agree with that because that's not a bribe. A bribe is supposed to get you to do things that you shouldn't be doing otherwise.
So this says it's a gift for work he is already paid for. It makes him vulnerable as it could be suggested that he has provided them with a benefit or he may now feel obligated to do something extra for them in return. Goodwill gestures over £25 have to be refused or donated.
Yeah, there's something around gifts because of the maybe perceived lack of independence. But I don't actually think that it would be reasonable that would be constituted a bribe. It's not a reasonable gift in terms of the value. So like most policies would say that you should turn it down, but I really think that it'd be reaching to think that like it's actually a bribe. He has no power to do anything except to sweep their street more. Yeah, he doesn't have any power to do anything.
It's true.
So, it's not a proportionate gift or whatever, but
it's true. I remember
there's a bribery risk.
I remember when I was working at John Lewis, and it was the Oxford Circus one. So you'd get a lot of tourists coming in. We'd get a lot of Arab people coming in.
They're the best tippers. And
buying stuff. And the amount of times I was offered £50, £100, and I had to say no.
Because your manager was looking.
Listen, I'm like 20. I don't give a heck. Like, I want the money. But I had to say no, like, no, you have to keep it. And they were like, no, just take it. I'm like, no, I can't take it.
I've got a friend who is a midwife in a private hospital, and it's the same. But you deliver my baby safely. Imagine what kind of bag you get for that, but you don't have to take it.
That's crazy.
And that's one of, like, that friend worked in the Middle East, and I was like, oh, when you were in the Middle East, she said, you take the money. Like
I'm sure you do.
See, the people are coming with bags of money for their doctors. Like, thank you so much. And here we can't even accept the little coin.
Speak about this UK.
Can't even accept the little coin.
Oh, it is about the UK, which is just like, oh my gosh, why are we like this? Yeah. If this was the US, even if they had that policy in place, for the sake of, like, just, you know, humanity and just, you know, reputation and how just they would be like, you know what, we're gonna let him go on the holiday.
It's true.
But in the UK, like, we're just so miserable as a collective. Like, we wouldn't allow it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's supposed to induce you to do something you're not supposed to do, and I don't really think that is the case here. I think it's a real reach. Okay, what was my second one? Okay, yeah. So do you remember back when Elon Musk was on a mad one?
He's still on a mad one.
Yeah, when he was most on a mad one. So basically what he did is he sent an email out. This was
telling everyone they have to work in the office.
Well, no, in Ireland he sent one out to ex-employees, basically saying, like, you know, we're changing the performance, you know, thing in order for you to, basically, we're raising the performance standard
to ex-employees.
Yeah, to Twitter.
I was thinking, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he basically sent this email, which has become the fork in the road email, which basically, like, he said, there's a fork in the road. Now I'm changing terms and conditions. This is what I expect of you. Only people who have exceptional standard of performance will be considered to be performing. Everyone else will be underperforming. All of this other stuff. He tried to change their terms and conditions. He said, you've got...
In Ireland?
Yeah, in Ireland, in Dublin. So he said, you've got a certain amount of time. If you're in agreement and you're happy to change your terms, click this link. If you don't, we're going to assume that you're resigning. And one of these guys, I can't remember how much time they had to do it, but one of these guys didn't click the link, and then 2 weeks later he received, like, basically a termination letter saying that, oh, we accept your resignation. And he was like, but I didn't resign. And then the Twitter/X people were like, yeah, you did, because you didn't click the link.
Where's the HR?
It even gets worse. So
okay.
They were like, well, you didn't click the link. So clearly
in Ireland, you know, sorry, go on.
Like, you didn't click the link, so clearly, like, you didn't want to stay. Like, that is, you had the opportunity to respond.
Why do people play with European employees? Like, don't play with us.
Listen, what happened here? Yeah, so I want to see how much time he had. So yeah, so he said, anyone who doesn't click the link, you're going to be terminated and you'll get a 3-month severance. Yeah. So this guy, Rooney, he didn't click the link, and he had a follow-up email within days to say that since he has no response, they're considering it to be a voluntary resignation. He was like, no. And when it went to court, and he won 550,000 euros. And it's the biggest compensation ever awarded in Ireland for a tribunal.
Really? Yeah, because X has money. That's why they did it.
Yeah. But how can you just say, okay, yeah, we're going to change the terms and conditions, and if you want to accept it, click this link. Like, it's like literally trying
to nice. All because you didn't sign. I bet more people wish they didn't click that link.
He basically said it was unfair dismissal, didn't he?
Surely there must have been other people who didn't click.
Yeah, I think it was sent to it was after they did all the layoffs, and it was sent out to 270 employees, and of the 270, 235 clicked the link.
Oh, that's high.
235 chumps.
That missed out on $500,000.
While the remaining 35 were treated to have resigned. I don't know I think he was the only one who took it
to court.
Yeah, so 350 grand was for loss of earnings, so he must have been quite senior.
Yeah.
And 200 was for loss of future income.
Wow. Lovely. That is a win.
What is wrong with Elon Musk?
That is a win. I know that whoever that was, I know they are smiling. Is it
£550,000, 470,000 pounds?
My thing is with some of these US companies, why do you think you can play in European countries in terms of, like, employees? You can't. Our laws are not like your laws.
Try that in France. I need them to go and try it in the Netherlands.
Literally.
I need them to go and try it in Luxembourg.
Literally go to those places, even Germany, go to those places and try and see what happens.
Ireland is even light work.
Literally.
Dublin, light work.
literally. But I know Irish people, the WRC, that's their favorite place.
You know what I like about Irish people as well? Many things, but like also, I feel like they're very pro like workers' rights and sticking together.
Yeah,
and I think it's very good. Like even like if you meet like if you have Irish colleagues even in the UK, I feel like they're always the ones that know, and they're like good at like unionizing and stuff like that. Like that's just, I don't know, it's probably a hangover from, I don't know, some of this, how they are in Ireland.
I have a running joke with myself that every workplace I go to, I leave with an Irish person.
Yeah.
Like every single workplace.
Like an Irish friend.
Yeah. Every single workplace I've always like left with having like a really good Irish friend.
Oh my God, we can't clip this because remember what happened last time we spoke about Irish people. So on one of the episodes we spoke about Irish names and how we've been learning them, and like TikTok was basically divided. I think most people were on our side, were all right.
Yeah.
But then we had like a load of people who basically was like, why are you making fun of our names? We're like, well, we're not making fun of the names. Like we're literally just saying that we took time to learn them. And initially it was like really bad, and then our real Irish friends came
through for us. I was like,
it was wonderful, blah blah blah. It was great, but initially they tried to drag us.
They did
to drag us.
But yeah, I love the Irish, like literally every workplace.
Do you know who I really love? The you know that Nigerian Irish runner, Rashida Adeleke.
Oh yeah.
I love her.
I liked her hair. Her hair was really
and
cute.
she has this bow in her hair, bobbing, and all the little Irish girls are wearing it now.
It's cute, isn't it? I feel like this is the worst Olympics that I can remember, but
for what?
For everything.
As in for winning.
It was just bad overall, like the river with the pollution, someone getting E. coli, the breakdancing. Apparently it's not coming back.
Yeah. Listen, we can't even talk about that on this episode, but that breakdancing was bad.
It made me think I should have gone.
Have I told you that I'm going to Olympics?
Yeah. There was a study or like a survey done, and apparently it's higher. I think it was like 40+% of Brits believe that if they trained now, they could make it to the 2028
and you know what I like
Olympics.
You know what I like about that? For me, none of them people are going to try it. Very few, maybe 1%.
But you?
1%. One thing about me, I told
see you in LA.
I shoot, I score. I shoot, I score. If I want to go to the Olympics, I'm going.
I'll see you in LA.
I might not win.
It don't matter. I'll see you in LA.
Okay, last announcement. For today, I've got an announcement. Not that kind of announcement. Today, I learned that you can report people to the CIPD.
Oh, yes.
Report HR professionals to the CIPD if you believe that they are breaching their code of conduct. And I am going to do it. I've got two people on my hit list, and I'm going to snitch like a snitching. And I can't wait. This is my public service announcement. If you are a terrible HR person and you want to do unethical things, don't come across my eyesight. Don't let me find out what you're doing, because I will snitch on you. I am so tired of like rubbish HR people bringing down the profession and ruining people's lives. And it sounds dramatic, but when
that's what's happening.
Yeah, but when you're rubbish, like managers, sometimes they don't know any better. But when you know better, especially if you've studied CIPD, you've done all the things about ethics, and you're doing nonsense, you're trying to ruin people's lives, put additional stress on them that they don't need, all of that kind of stuff, I'm coming for you. Me personally, I'm coming. I will report you. Yeah. And I will make it my life's work to make sure that everybody knows, because they publish the sanctions. So when they publish your name, don't worry, I'll publish it too.
Period.
I'm sick and tired of them.
I love that.
That's right. That's my public service announcement.
That's fair. Okay. On that note,
like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff.
That's a wrap, guys.
Bye.
Bye.